Hello, my name is Ted, and today I'm going to tell you about solar system. Well, in the solar system there are 8 planets, and that includes Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Sun, Uranus, and Neptune. So and do you know what's the biggest object in the solar system? It's the sun. Yeah, the sun is very big and it can fit more than 1,000 Earth inside it. And you know the surface of the sun is 5,000 degrees, which is very hot. Imagine if you land on it, you'll just burn in less than 1 second, which is very hot. Now, there's a fact that some people are confused. Some black dots that are moving around, and at the first time, and so I think that there's some creatures there, and I figure out it's not, because it's in the sun and it's even bigger than the Earth, and actually that's the kind of it the volcano. It erupts. So there are a lot of times that the sun pour out flames. So now let's move to Mercury. Mercury is the smallest planet in the solar system, and there's a rule about the planet. The closer the sun it is, the faster it can travel. It take fewer time to move.
Less
Less
time
time to move one round around the sun.
to finish one round.
And the Mercury is a planet that finish go around the sun, and it only took 88 days, which is not nearly, it's nearly 100 days, and it's quite few. Now, imagine that you are an astronaut. You stand in front of planet Mercury, and if you compare to it, you will see that Mercury looks like a giant ball of coal. Mercury looks like the moon, some craters there, but it's a lot bigger than the moon. Let's move to Venus. Some people call them different names or something. Venus is it's the brightest planet in the solar system. It's very hot, and Venus belongs in the planets, the rock planets. But the surface is not rock. It's just a few rocks. When you come closer, you can see that the surface is liquid. You know why? So the answer is that's because Venus is so close to the sun. It melts into liquid. But why didn't Mercury have liquid like that? Because look at the surface, it's rock, and when the sunlight as much of the sunlight go in, it bump into the rock and reflect back. It didn't matter, kind of like shield. But Venus is a lot different, and the second reason that make Venus is the brightest and hottest planet is that of the atmosphere. Earth's atmosphere help us to save the toxic sunlight. Like Earth, Venus also have an atmosphere, but it's a lot of time thicker than Earth, which it can trap sunlight in and doesn't let sunlight out, which it causes to make liquid. The sun is stuck in and melt things. Now let's move to Earth, the planet that have the only that only have living things. Earth, the planet we live on, is a planet which it have everything we need: water, food, and lots of things else. So some people say that Earth and Venus are the same size. But actually, it's almost true. Earth is slightly bigger than Venus, and Venus is about 24 million tons, kilograms, but Earth is 25. That means it's slightly bigger and heavier. There's the fact about Earth is that there are more than 8 billion people living on Earth, which make Earth have is a planet that have the best chance of surviving there. So let's move next. Mars. Mars, unlike Earth, is smaller and also have moons. And Mars have 2 moons, but the 2 moons are a lot smaller than our moon. Those aren't moons, they're just cracked rocks, cracked megatitan boulders, which they don't like moons, they are moons. They're very small and some of them are just tiny. The first, some of them is just about 15 kilometers. Do you know why Mars moons are not round? I'll tell you why. Many years, 100 years ago, Mars had 2 round moons. A moon and 2 moons, and those moons are round. Were round. And there are those 2 moons. One of them is big and one of them is small. And the bigger moon, what happened? The bigger moon, kind of like a big. It can move things from far away. Well, the round of Mars, kind of like wide up this, and here is the bigger moon. This is the smaller moon. 2 of them are facing each other. Well, the bigger moon have more chance of pulling things, so it will pull this small moon to itself, and it'll pull piece by piece, and until the smaller moon is nothing. Just it is 15 kilometers, so small. It become a crack. It's still a moon. But what happened to the bigger moon is, well, when it just bumped these rocks together, the bigger moon kind of feel through and explode, which come to a piece, and that's why the 2 moons are like bumpy. Now these are the rock planets, which aren't very small. Now to Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest planet in the solar system, and it's also the planet rotate the fastest, oldest, and strongest. In history, scientists call Jupiter is the brother of Earth. You know why? That's because many years ago, asteroid comets are hitting the solar system, and some of them nearly hit Earth. So Jupiter is there to save, which is big and take a lot of space, which most of the comets and asteroids hit Jupiter, but Jupiter doesn't have a rock surface. It's gas. You know, Jupiter have a red spot, and everyone calls them the big red spot. Why? Because it's red and big. There's a story from long ago when, and that time, that red dot is a storm full of dust, and that dust is very wide, about 16,000 kilometers. I think it's about 16,000 kilometers square, but now it shrinks only to 16,000 kilometers per square. Now it's only about one Earth. You know, these Jupiter is a Titan, which is kind of 10 times bigger than Earth. And you know, Jupiter have a core, right? This core, some planets have lava core, but Jupiter have a metal which is very hard. But if you go inside Jupiter, you will be smashed like a tin can, and you'll have no oxygen and be dead. Let's move to Saturn, the one with the special ring. You know why Saturn have that ring? That's because of the way it used to pull things. For example, this is Saturn, and an example, this is a piece of rock, and they are the space between them are kind of 50,000 kilometers, but Sun can still take them, which, you know, the atmosphere of Saturn kind of like shield and didn't let anything go in, and when that thing tried to go in, it breaks, and just it just go again and again until it make a ring, and that kind of ring is made of dust, rock, and a small piece of sand, which the ring are on the atmosphere, which gives Saturn that special ring. Let's move to Uranus. Uranus is not very big, it's only 4 times bigger, but it can fit a lot of Earth in. But Uranus, kind of ice is a gas planet, but it's also confirmed as ice giant, which full of ice. Which, if you live in Uranus, you would in thousands of years you haven't got a birthday until you're dead. When you're dead, you have no birthday. It takes so long. But wonder if you are on
It takes so long to
Take too long to have a birthday.
for the Uranus to complete Earth.
It's round. Well, you know, but imagine you're on Neptune, which take about more than 1,000,000 years, which is so slow. And when I look at this, when I watch science, and in more than 70 years, Neptune have just complete a half round, and Neptune is the far furthest planet from the sun. You know what's the space between Sun and Neptune? 3.4 billion kilometers, which is so far. And if you live on Neptune, you won't have a birthday on kind of a week if you are Neptune. Neptune is the windiest planet. It has mountains of ice, which you can believe how cold it's there. You know, there are a lot of amazing facts about the solar system, which I didn't know all of them. So, what facts do you know? Tell to me, and that is something I can tell you about solar system. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.